Hello, everyone. My name is Leandro, and I'm one of the founders of Haferkater. And I'm today here to share you the founder's viewpoint of building a company, getting first investors in at some point, and later on shifting to steward-ownership. How did it start? It started not far away from here. We're in the same neighborhood here where we opened our first coffee shop in Berlin-Friedrichshain 11 years ago. And this was our first shop that we opened, and we had this idea to say, why are there no other options than bakery products when you go on your way to work? And so we thought, why don't we eat porridge at home? We know a lot of friends eating porridge, so why don't we sell porridge as a takeaway food? So we grind the oat freshly, we cook it with water and salt, and then we put different toppings, fruits, nuts, berries. And we had this idea, and from the beginning we saw that we could make something big out of it, opening different shops all over Germany. And we also had this dream that I think most founders have when they open a business to make things better. We're dreaming about being a better company, about being more sustainable than other companies, about being better owners than other companies. We were forgetting that for that we needed customers, actually. So we opened the shop, and we didn't have so many customers at the beginning, maybe 20, and we were open from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening. So it was really a tough time. But the feedback was wonderful about the product. They loved it. So we got 40 customers, or sometimes 80, 100. But at some point we realized that in order to make it better, we had to be at another place where more people are actually going to work, in train stations. So we had the chance 1.5 years later to open a pop-up shop at Berlin Central Station. It was like not even secured. You could even just grab in on the evening, but nobody stole our coffee machine, so everything was great. And we opened it, and after opening it, on the first hour we realized how amazing this idea is for train stations. We were not talking anymore about 20, 40, 80 customers a day, but about 500 or 600 customers a day. And we realized, it's a moment I think a lot of people have when they think they have a great idea. We realized that what we were doing was actually a business that could make 100 of millions of euros of turnover a year, as there are a lot of train stations where we could open shops. We were not the only ones to realize that. After some time, customer came by, she gave us her business card, she was wonderful, and said, I would love to invest in the company. And we really needed some money to open your shops. It's really expensive to open a shop in a train station. And so we had some talks, and at some point we decided to sell them 20% of the shares of the company, and we got 400,000 euros for that at this time. Just for pop-up shops, it was a great deal for us. We were really happy about it. And we thought we still have 80%, right? So what can happen with the company? We can stay in control, we can still look that everything is going great, that we still decide about how things are going in the company. So we were confident and started expanding. Today we have 30 shops all over Germany, the biggest train station, in airports, we have Paris and pop-up in Vienna. And at that time we were keep going, expanding, opening new shops, and it was right. What worked at Berlin Central Station also worked in other cities. It was same model, same competitors, it worked. So we were getting more business people, understanding the rules about getting investors, reporting, all these things, financing. And at the same time, we started to have a bad feeling about something. Because of a lot of people we started the way with when we opened our shop in Berlin-Friedrichshain were either bankrupt at some point, it's a startup, it happens, or they were bought by bigger companies, and we saw that the values they had were slowly getting lost. There were not a lot of people around, of startups around us anymore that still were owned by the founders, mostly were sold off at some point. And we were wondering, where is it going, actually? Where are we heading with the way? Are we going to end as one other shop bought by bigger companies and selling products that we don't believe in? But we thought, it's all right, we still have 80% of the shares, right? So what can happen? We're still in control, and everything was great, actually, until the crisis came. 2020, we had to close all of our shops from one day to another. We still had to pay high rents, no turnover, no money coming in, and it was disastrous for all the food business and for a lot of other business and people in Germany and all over the world, of course. And then it was a moment where we realized that from one moment to another, something you think can be sure can just shift. I'm in charge of financing and investors' relations in the company. So I try to walk around, say, now it's the moment to invest in the company and to expand, because all the ones cannot expand. But it was a really difficult time. It was really a lot of pressure. It was terrible for us as founders, for my co-founders, Anna, Levin, and I. And to be honest, at this point, if anyone would have come to give us nothing, just to take off the debt, take off the pressure, we would just have given in the company. And at this point, we realized maybe we are not enough as founders to protect the companies, because it can always happen that something in life makes you change your decisions. So we went to our investors. We had to sell. We had 35% shares we already had sold to get through the crisis, and told them, actually, we don't want to sell the company. We don't want to make an exit. We don't want at some point of our life to walk past one of our shops and discover that all the product has been changed to have a higher margin for the shareholder and to be ashamed of what we did. We just don't want that. So we had a great relationship with them before. They understood that we were serious about it, because since the beginning we had highest idea, and they probably thought at some point they can't forget and just sell a company like all the other ones. But we were really serious about this. And they told us, okay, you have 6 months to raise a certain amount of money. At the end, it was over 5 million euros. And if you get this, we will sell you the shares back. And we made a crowd campaign on all our shops, where we were with the GLS Bank, which is supporting us. And we raised 3.5 million euros in just customers that made a loan to the company, the crowd lending model. And we were surprised that even though it's a really tough financial climate, so many people were supporting the idea. At the same time, we had purpose investors from the Purpose Foundation also, where we talked with them, that were helping us shifting it without getting voting rights on the company. And 1 year later, we actually made it. And I spent a lot of time to realize what it meant, actually, because it was just so exhausting to get through this process, to finding the people to help us get the company back to 100%, to find this way to move to a Steward-Ownership model. And after some time, I realized it's just an amazing feeling, because it felt like being back home. It felt like being the shop at Friedrichshain 11 years ago and dreaming about changing the things and changing the system. And it felt like being able again to dream this dream we had from the start. Thank you.
Thank you, Leandro. Thank you so much. Such an amazing journey that you guys have had, and well done.
Thank you.
Does anyone have a question for Leandro? Any question? There's one here. Can I get a microphone here? Yeah.
Hello, Leandro. I'm Lisette from Netherlands. When you told the story about selling the first 20%, Brian and I was like, uh-oh, this is really going to go wrong. So can you tell me a bit more about your relationship with investors and what helped you come through and keep them on board of your purpose?
Yes, of course. We checked the company before. It's a family office, earned in third generation in a food business, and we just first checked them before, and it sounded like they never did something bad before. They sounded like honest people. We met them, and we had a good feeling about them, and we kept this good relation, but they were stuck in the system of exits and on selling, on making money. That's the biggest problem. It's not those people, it's not us, it's the system, which was a problem. And we had to do it. It's not possible to open so many shops with a bank. They don't expand, they don't give you credits to keep on taking risk all the time. And what really helped us, and can advise for every company that is trying to shift and getting investors first, is we had an honest and good relation with them. We were already always trying to be truthful about everything, and it helped us at this time that when we looked them in the eye and told them we really don't want to sell the company, they understood it was not poker. And if the investors is losing the founders as potential partner to sell a company, then they try to see what can they save and at least get a little money instead of making the big out of it. This helped us a lot.
Any further questions? There's one over there. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can use yours, Lily. Here.
Hi, thank you, Leandro. Just picking up on the quote you have behind you.
Yes.
In what direction are you moving now?
Yeah, just moving, actually. It feels like really just moving. I mean, that's what a lot of people say. It's about the way, and it's not about about the end of the road. And I'm always thinking, am I still the right person at this moment of the company to keep the company going? And for now, the answer is yes. And our big goal now is to prove that we can get huge while being Steward-Ownership, because it was belittled when we opened this small shop in Berlin. And well, that's those guys that sell porridge in a corner. It's not going to work. Then we open one train station. It's work in Berlin, but all hipsters are living in Berlin. That's why it works. And then, okay, it's working in Cologne, and then keep on going, and we're starting to get serious. And by becoming a big brand in the business, we want to show that Steward-Ownership is even the better model to have a good food brand, because we really believe that the big problem in the food industry is that when you want to have a higher profit for the shareholders, you can only save food costs or you can save staff costs. And that's a problem because both of it doesn't end well, as we see in all over the world what's happening at the moment. So I really believe that a Steward-owned company is a better food company, but we want to prove it also through commercial and business success.
Thank you. Thank you, Leandro.
Thank you.
Thanks.